yogis, welcome back. It has been a minute since I've been on here, and I'm super excited to share this video with you today. As a yoga instructor, one of the ailments that I hear about the most or get questions about the most is back pain. So recently I did a survey on my Instagram page, shameless plug, @YogaWithErin, on if you experienced more back pain in the low back or the upper back. It was a resounding low back, so that is what we're going to focus on today. I'm a true believer that movement is medicine and that a steady yoga practice can really help to relieve some pain in the body or tension in the body. So that being said, this isn't like a one-time fix. I recommend doing this video maybe on a weekly basis if you experience low back tension or low back pain. If it's chronic or very painful, I recommend reaching out to a chiropractor or an actual medical doctor, and throughout this video making sure you modify when you need to. Don't do anything that your body isn't ready to do today, and just follow along. This is going to be more restorative, slow, gentle yoga, and I hope this helps and I hope you enjoy. Let's get started. Okay, yogis, so we are going to begin supine, or on our backs today. Feet planted on the earth, heels about hip-width distance apart, palms resting on the mat, and just feeling all points of contact of your back on the mat. Really making sure that low back is pressed in, taking a deep breath in, and exhale, release. As you release, feel that low back release into the mat. Making sure you can feel from the shoulders down through the spine into the low back and the hips, your mat underneath you. Feeling yourself fully supported by your mat, by the earth, and by this moment. Tuning in with the breath, maybe even closing the eyes. Good. And then heel-toe your feet a little bit further than hip-width distance, and let the knees just fall in toward each other. So this is broken bridge. You should immediately feel a bit of a release in the low back and in the hips. Again, just breathing, noticing, taking note of the breath as it travels into the body, being aware of anywhere where the breath may be getting stuck from tension or tightness. And on that next exhale, breathe it out, let it go. Let go of that tension, feeling yourself sinking deeper into your mat. Good. One more breath like this. Beautiful. Now bring the knees apart, heel-toe those feet back to about hip-width distance. And we're going to do a really subtle movement now. So if you have something behind you, you may want to bring your hips a little bit closer toward the end of the mat so you can extend your arms straight back behind you. Or maybe even cactusing the arms by bending at the elbows so you have a nice open chest. We're going to start with a very subtle movement, but you're definitely going to feel it, with tiny little pelvic rocks. So as you tilt that pelvis down and forward, you should get this sort of rainbow effect in the low back. And then go ahead and release back down. Again, tilt that pelvis, rock that pelvis forward. Feel that tension release. And then let it go. to low back pressed into the mat. So just creating those little rainbow arch in the low back. Going at your own pace and finding your breath with your movement here. It doesn't necessarily have to match the movement, just rocking back and forth, feeling that tailbone press down into the mat, and then releasing. Good, couple more times. And again, as I said at the beginning, if this doesn't feel good, don't do it. Just continue to lie here. Maybe play with, looking out over one shoulder. Good. Last one. Tilt it up. You have about, fist width distance between chin and chest. Good. Release it back down and then bring knees in toward chest, grabbing nice and gently on the shins. Counter pose. And maybe you rock a little side to side, massaging out that low back. This is great to incorporate into a weekly to daily practice, especially if you have chronic low back pain. These, self massages that you can give are so nice. And you can stay here with this movement, or you can bring hands onto knees, take the knees just a little bit more away from the torso, and then start to circle the knees with palms on the knees in a counterclockwise direction. So this is just gonna kind of amp up that low back massage. Good. And then take it in the other direction. Clockwise now. Again, if this doesn't feel good, just stay with those little rocks side to side, holding onto the shins. Listen to your body. This is your practice. This is for you. So whatever feels good. Beautiful. Coming back to stillness. Give yourself a little hug around the knees now. If it feels okay on the chin and the neck, you can bring nose up toward knees, just curling up into a little ball. And then we're going to come up to sit. So you have a couple ways you can do this. You can roll over to one side and press yourself up to sit. Or if you feel like you have the mobility, flexibility, and movement to do this, if it's going to be okay on the spine, use this opportunity by grabbing onto the backs of the knees to rock yourself on your spine, allowing for a little more spinal massage. This just feel really great. And when you're ready, maybe after a few rocks, come all the way up to sit. Again, if you're not ready to rock up today, you can just roll over to one side and gently press yourself up to sit. Good. So finding that comfortable seat, sitting up nice and tall. For this practice, you may want to have a blanket or a couple blocks nearby. So always good to, if you have tight hips, bring the hips above the knees. So we're going to sit up nice and tall. Spine is long, chin parallel with the earth. Inhale, reach those arms up high. And then exhale, take right hand to left knee, left hand falls behind, twist left. Gazing out toward the left or back behind the left shoulder if that feels okay. In this movement, this flow, you're using your breath as a tool. So you're inhaling, opening up, creating space, and then exhale, traveling into that space, maybe twisting a bit deeper. Again, everything is gentle. Listening to your body. Good. And then you're going to bring that back left hand up and over, cross it over the right arm, bringing left hand to right knee, and then folding in. Good. Slowly roll yourself back up to sit. Same thing, other side. Inhale, reach those arms up and overhead. And then exhale, left palm to right knee, right hand back behind, twist right. Oh, and I have a new kitty friend. I don't know if you can see him back there, but that's Glitch. We got him in July. He loves it out here. Very inquisitive little fella. All right, let's bring that right arm up and over, cross it over the left, and then fold. Exhale as you fold. Couple breaths here. Good, roll yourself back up. And then we're going to do some twists just a little quicker this time. So inhale, reach. Exhale, twist left. Inhale, reach. Exhale, twist right. Inhale, reach. Twist left. Inhale, reach. Twist right. One more time, each side. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale up. Exhale. Good. Back through center. And then we're going to find our tabletop position. So wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. I want you to bring those toes slightly in toward each other, back behind you. And then walk the hands about a handprint forward. You're going to round the spine, tuck chin, tuck tailbone, and then send the hips back, find a child's pose. Good. Inhale, bring it forward. Drop belly. Come up. Exhale. Tuck it, send it back. Good. Inhale. So this is just kind of a flow moving through a cat-cow motion. You're inhaling to come forward. Exhale, rounding back. Good. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, come up. Round up. Exhale. Lift. Good. Couple more times. Nice and fluid movement. Beautiful. Last one. Awesome job. Now, you're back in your child's pose. What I want you to do from here is take the knees forward out in front of you, and then bring your belly onto your thighs. Take those hands back behind you. Bring the palms up to face the sky, and set the forehead down. This is a closed-knee child's pose that you're in. This is great for low back release. So our open knee child's pose, when you have your knees open, making space for the belly, that's more for a hip release. Coming into this pose at any time that you're feeling any sort of low back tension, tightness, pain, this is really great for that. So forehead's resting down. Again, hands are back by the feet, palms facing up. Low back release. So, bookmark this, keep this one in mind, because coming into this pose at any time is really going to help with low back tension. Good. Bring the hands around to come out in front of you, and then round yourself up, find a tabletop position. You're going to take that left leg back behind you, and then step it up in between the hands. So you're in this low lunge, this low crescent now. Kind of 90-degree angle in that front left foot. And then bring that heel toe, that left foot out to the left a little bit. And this is where you may want, some extra padding, block or something to bring the floor up to you. If you can't quite, get here in this pose. And then kind of bending forward a little bit. Tuck that back toe and send that back knee back a little bit. So we're coming into a psoas stretch. So that may seem a little counterintuitive, but that psoas really contributes to low back tension. So if you have tight psoas, that's going to create tension in the back. This will help release it. Good. Maybe rocking a little back and forth. Sitting here in this stretch, in this pose. And again, if this is too much to bring that back knee back, just keep it at 90 degrees. Just kind of hang out here. Good, and then we're going to bring that foot back through center and take a counter stretch by sending our hips back, bringing those toes up to the sky, finding your half split. So again, this will be a good time to have your blocks here if you need to bring the floor up to you. My blocks are in my car at the shop, so I don't have blocks with me right now, but, and if you don't have blocks, you can use books, any sort of prop like that. Alright, re-bending into that front knee. Plant the hands and then send that knee back to meet the other one. Realigning the body. And then bringing that right foot forward now. Finding the same stretch on the other side. Taking note of where you're feeling the stretch in the body and the difference between the left and the right side. Super important to know which side is tighter and which side is a little more open. That way you can work on one side or the other a little more, kind of evening that out. Sometimes low back pain or low back tension. Let's bring that right foot out to the right a little bit. Maybe bring that back knee back a little bit. Yeah, sometimes low back tension is in relation to posture, hips, things not being in line. So working on that in a daily to weekly yoga practice is super helpful. Again, option to kind of rock a little bit here. Find your sweet spot. Find your edge so that you feel it, but nothing should be tweaking, tight, anything like that. This should feel good. Good. Let's go ahead, bring that right foot back through center and then sink yourself back, counter pose it with a half split. Hips in line, stretching out that hamstring. Good. Alright, and then we're going to come up to stand. So rebend that front knee. Kind of sit yourself up here. You're going to bring your hands back down to the floor, actually, and bring that back knee in. And then place your hands on that right thigh. Tuck back left toes. Use that to stand yourself up. So now you're standing on your mat. Inhale, reach those arms up to the sky. Exhale. Fold it in. Good. Nice relaxed forward fold now. Top half of the body just hanging heavy over the legs. Maybe you grab opposite elbows and find a ragdoll pose. Tailbone up toward the sky. And again, breath is a tool. Inhale, create space. Exhale, travel into that space. This doesn't have to be a super deep fold. You can also bend the knees as much as you need to. Good. Maybe swaying a little side to side. Beautiful job. All right, from here, I want you to plant your hands on the mat. So if you have to put a really deep bend in the knees, that's totally fine. You're going to heel toe your feet out about short edge mat distance, heels and toes out. And then from here, I want you to sink those hips down as low as you can get them. Maybe coming all the way into Malasana. So yogi squat, triceps on the insides of the knees, chest lifted. Malasana is a great pose to incorporate into a weekly to daily practice really good for that low back. So chest is lifted. If you're not here today, that's totally fine. Stay in this tiny squat or just come all the way down to sit. Find a comfortable seat on your mat. And just rest. Good. Beautiful. Wherever you're at, come down to sit. Bring those feet straight out in front of you and then find your way down to your back. Ending the same way we started, supine or on our backs. And now from here, I want you to bring, again, heels a little bit closer to your sits bones. Feet are about hip width distance apart. Cross your right ankle over your left knee. So right foot is flexed, right knee pressing away from the body. And then bring the stretch a little closer to you if that feels okay, grabbing on, interlacing fingers behind the left thigh. So we're finding a supine figure 4, supine pigeon pose. And again, option to rock a little side to side. Variation would be to straighten that left leg, bring it up to the sky. Hi, Gucci. Good. All right. Re-bend that extended leg. Release the interlace of the fingers. Take the stretch back down to the floor. Cactus the arms or bring them out to a T. And then you're going to bring bottom of the right foot and left knee over to the left. Little supine twist, spinal twist. Gazes up at the ceiling or out over your right shoulder. Good. Come back through center, unwind, and then we'll do the same thing on the other side. Crossing left ankle over right knee. Left foot is flexed, left knee pressing away from the body. Interlacing fingers behind that right thigh, bringing the stretch a little bit closer to you, making sure that low back is pressed into the mat. Variation is to extend that right leg long and then rock a little side to side on the low back. Massage that out. You can do that with a bent knee. It doesn't have to be straight. Good. Then finding stillness, release the interlace of the fingers. Bring right foot down to the mat. And then left foot and right knee are going to come over to the right. Cactusing the arms or bringing them out to a T. Both shoulders pressed down. Gazing up at the ceiling or out over left shoulder this time. And I do want you to always keep in mind that what we do on one side doesn't necessarily always have to be mirrored on the other side as far as stretching, variations, or modifications go. Every body is different, and each body is typically not symmetrical. So what you do on one side, or flexibility you have on one side, may not necessarily mirror the other side. So just keeping that in mind throughout practice, throughout your day, when you're trying jeans on. I typically have one pant leg that's longer than the other, which is just insane, but you know, we work with it. We do what we can. Bodies are not symmetrical. Good. All right, come back through center, release it. Just like we did at the beginning, hug those knees in, and then use your peace fingers, your pointer and your middle finger to grab big toes. Take the knees out wide toward the armpits.
opening up the hips, finding a happy baby pose. And again, option to rock a little side to side. If you feel pretty loose and open in this, you can grab onto the outer edges of the feet. You just want to make sure whatever option or variation you choose, you can keep your low back pressed into the mat. Your low back remains pressed in. Good. Pressed in, pressed down. Awesome job, yogis. Beautiful. Good. From here, I want you to go ahead and release the feet. Bring arms by your sides, palms facing up to the sky. Feet come out wide, outer corners of the mat. Let your feet flop open. Finding your final resting pose, your Shavasana. And if you do experience low back tension or low back pain, making sure that if you do have a regular yoga practice, that you're never skipping your Shavasana. This is a time to allow all of the good things your body just did to let that sink in, body and mind. Good. And rest.
Okay, yogis, I hope you found this video helpful and that it brought you a bit of release and comfort. As I said before, I really recommend incorporating this into a more regular practice rather than just doing it one time, because a regular yoga practice, regular stretching can really help to alleviate any ailments like that in the body. So if you liked this, be sure to like the video, subscribe to my channel, and share with your friends, and we will see you soon.